All right, let's try this example. B1 tells us to determine the roots of each quadratic equation by completing the square. So we have to complete the square and then round our answer to the nearest hundredth. All right, let's go through this. Step number 1, is this in standard form? This is in standard form because ax squared plus bx plus c, everything's to the left side and is in descending order. Number 2, move the c to the right side. So there's my c value, so I'm going to have to move this -6 over, and this gives me x squared plus 4x equals 6. What's the next one? Factor out the a value. Now you only need this one if your a is not equal to 1. So that one's done. That's nice. Number 4, complete the square. So let's take our b value. Let's try to use the color we haven't been using. There's my b value right here. And we're going to put into this formula. 4 divided by 2 squared. 4 divided by 2 is 2, and 2 squared is 4. So this number 4 is going to go right there. Plus 4. Okay, now pay attention. If you add 4 to one side, you have to do it to the other side. Okay? Because if I add 4 to both sides, I essentially haven't really changed the equation. It's still equal. Okay, now we need to do a perfect trinomial square. So let's do step number 5. For step number 5, I'm going to take this right here and basically just factor. You remember this? Should. We've been working on it for a long time. A times c is 4. My b value is 4. The two numbers that multiply to be 4 are 2 and 2. And those two add up to be 4. So I'm going to have x plus 2 and x plus 2 equals 6 plus 4 is 10. And then it tells us to solve by the square root method. So, I forgot to do this one. Perfect trinomial square just basically means these are exactly the same, so I can now write x plus 2 squared equals 10. And then now we can solve by the square root method. To get rid of the exponent, or the power of 2, I'm going to have to take the square root, because the index for that small number is 2 right there. So here I have. And what happens is these kind of cancel. And you're left with x plus 2. Okay, pay attention here. It's plus or minus radical 10. Plus or minus radical 10. And then when I subtract my 2 to solve for x, that goes on the left side of the plus or minus. So now I'm left with x equals -2 plus or minus radical 10. Now this answer here in white is, I'm going to write that, an exact answer. That's way better because there's no rounding involved. But they did ask us to round. So let's go to our calculator. And I'm going to quit here, clear. So I have -2 plus the square root of 10. And I get an answer of, I said round to the nearest tenths. So that would be to the nearest hundredths. So that would be 1.16, because the third digit is the thousandths. And we need the hundreds, which is the second digit to the right of the decimal. So 1.16, and then -2 minus the square root, which is on the far left side. I had to press second on mine, and you will get this number. So positive 1.16 and negative 5.16. Did I do that right? Let's double check. Oh, negative 5.16. Okay. Just to give you guys a big picture, I know that was a lot of steps, but what we're doing here is on a graph. You have one, there's a positive, there's a negative, and then your A value in this problem was positive, so the graph opens up and goes through -6 as the C value, right? So this is what my graph kind of looks like. And we did all of that by just doing all of that, completing the square. So I'm just trying to show you the visual of what's happening. See you guys.